Hello, welcome to the Price Academy, bite-sized history videos. This video is introducing Catherine Howard. Catherine Howard was reportedly young, pretty and full of life. By the time she met King Henry VIII, he was middle-aged, plagued by old sporting injuries and had developed a terrible habit for turning on his wives when they did not meet up to his high expectations. So why did Henry VIII choose to marry Catherine? After the speedy collapse of his unsuccessful match to Anne of Cleves, Henry was determined to choose his next bride for himself. His attention was soon drawn to Catherine Howard, a cousin to Anne Boleyn, who was a lady-in-waiting to Anne of Cleves. The young Catherine was pushed by her family into the king's attention, who decided she was exactly the sort of wife he had been looking for. Henry and Catherine married on the 28th of July 1540, just 3 weeks after his marriage to Anne of Cleves was annulled. There was at least a 30-year age gap between them. Catherine faced many challenges as a young bride, including the fact she was at least 2 years younger than Henry's elder daughter Mary. Unsurprisingly, she found the role of stepmother difficult. However, a more serious issue was also to emerge. Henry expected high moral standards in his wives, and it was rumoured that Catherine had an ambiguous sexual past. This would not come to the king's attention until it was tragically too late. Catherine's past has been the subject of much speculation. Several details were likely hidden from the king, which would later prove fatal for her. Catherine's mother died when she was young. At age 10 or 12 years old, she was sent to live with her step-grandmother, Agnes Howard, the Dowager Duchess of Norfolk. Her step-grandmother was not as protective of her charge as she should have been. In the years before coming to court, Catherine had reportedly been the subject of the advances of her music teacher, Henry Manox, who was more than twice her age. What's more, Catherine and her friends entertained male admirers unsupervised. Catherine was later said to have had a sexual relationship with a young nobleman called Francis Dereham between 1537 to 1539. Henry was seemingly unaware of Catherine's past, which by his standards would cast her as immoral and unworthy of his hand in marriage. Her chances of keeping it secret were dashed when Catherine made the mistake of having an affair with Thomas Culpepper, a gentleman of the king's privy chamber. Rumours of Catherine's affair reached the Archbishop of Canterbury. Further investigations into Catherine's past quickly followed, and the king was informed of Catherine's pre-marital behaviour and alleged infidelities at Hampton Court Palace on the 2nd of November 1541. It is thought the Archbishop Thomas Cranmer left a letter in the King's pew in the Royal Chapel. Henry was reluctant at first to believe anything and passed the allegations off as gossip and rumour. Catherine's former lovers were arrested and tortured, with Dereham confessing to a sexual relationship. It seems Henry may have been willing to forgive Catherine for her past before their marriage, but the case of an affair proved too much. When Culpepper, too, admitted to clandestine meetings with the Queen, it became too much for Henry. The king left Hampton Court Palace on the 6th of November, never to see his young wife again. She was stripped of her title as Queen. It is said when Catherine was arrested at Hampton Court Palace, she broke free of the guards and ran to the doors of Chapel Royal, where she believed Henry was at prayer. She screamed to the king for mercy, but to no avail. Agonising months would pass before Catherine met her violent end, during which time both Dereham and Culpepper were executed. Catherine was taken to the Tower of London on the 10th of February 1542, and on the way may have seen the rotting heads of Culpepper and Dereham on display on London Bridge. On the morning of 13th of February 1542, Catherine Howard was beheaded. Her maid, Lady Rochford, followed her to the block, as it was her that set up the meetings between Catherine and Culpepper. It's believed Catherine may have been as young as 17 when she died. Catherine is buried in the chapel of St. Peter at the Tower of London. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this video, to like and subscribe to the channel, or you can follow me at Twitter at LittleMissHistory81, at TanyaAlex38, or on Facebook at TanyaAlex38.